Hi everyone, it's Dr. Harmony. In case we haven't met yet, I am a twin flame expert and I am helping other twin flames from around the globe face fears, find freedom so they can glow forward on fire. And I want to welcome you to this class, this Reboot Your Twin Soul blueprint that I have created based on my own experiences and have developed the 1111 key codes that I have been shown from my own guidance, the own connection with my own twin flame that taught me a lot of things when you combine my experience from being an energy healer, a chiropractor, a patient of energy healing, and you take the accumulation of 30 years of energetic wisdom and you add that to a course like this, it definitely brings the depth into it. Yet I have a gift of being able to help people connect to their greatest potential through the ability to tap in where you're at. So wherever you're at this place in time is something that I can usually help tap into. I have been divinely guided to leave this course open. What I mean by that is I have no direct intention other than helping you clear up the controversy, which is, this is key code 1-1, is let's clear up the controversy, the twin flame controversy. There is a lot of misconception out there. And so that is my intention today, is to help you clear that up. Now, with that being said, I want to share with you a couple things that really how I actually perform my sessions. And that is, I don't like to be rushed. I like the guidance to come through me. I like to be able to express what's coming through. So I didn't want to do like the formal format of like all of the scripts running and those sorts of things that can be distracting. I wanted to make sure that I became a channel and that this course, like I said, would become something for you to take away to connect from this course as if we were working together one-on-one. That is my intention with this. That is my goal for this. And so I want to open this up for guidance. I want to open this up and, to allow spirit to channel through me in the process and to leave this course open for that. Each soul chat that we do open for that. And with that being said, I also want to talk a little bit about how my sessions go, so that way you know what to expect. So first I want to welcome you. There's a lot of opportunities out there for what we would consider education these days. We're bombarded by programs and the next best thing that's going to get you to the next best thing in your life through all the coaching courses and all of the Facebook ads and all of those things out there. And so the fact that you've made it here tells me, shows me, and I want to show you that it became divine guidance. Because that was not the intention in this course, even though I had to go that route. But what I will tell you from a personal standpoint in that note, a side note of that, I didn't follow the guidelines 100%. I was told by analysts, specialists, branding people that I've worked with, you've got to be within 2 minutes within that first sales video on your leads page, and I couldn't comply. I could not shut it off. I didn't want to put the tap on there. Naturally, I followed the best of the guidelines I could just because I want to stay informational. And there is a certain amount of time for attention. But I didn't comply. It's like 6.5 minutes for the leads video that got you here. It was supposed to be under 3 minutes and preferably 1 to 2 minutes based on statistics. And so that's why I want to really share with you that if you've made it this far, you signed up for something that will be transforming within itself, because that's the intention. They say there's no freebies in life, and there's always something to add or share or to entice with. And I want to make it my goal and my intention that if this is the only appointment we have together over the next 11 days, that you've taken away from that something that you can go forward in life with that will have made an impact in your life. That's my intention. That's my ultimate goal. Okay. So, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I have chills coming through me right now just from the divine of just saying, okay, we've got the attention because, and they've got my attention because right now, this is the same thing I said. Like this is not scripted. This was not even planned. So, let's get started. Are you ready? Are you ready to make some changes in your life? I couldn't be more thrilled, and honestly, I could not be more honored to be here to help assist you with this journey and to help you clear up this controversy about this twin flame chaos that's going on out in the world. And people are just now waking up. I do this every day. People are waking up. I call it kind of like flies, it's like that's how fast, since my book, Twin Flame Code Breaker, had came out in December, the hard copy, launched the Kindle version in January. And since that happened, people are coming to me left and right that I just found out about even what a twin flame was. I just connect with my twin. Your book is exactly what you said, the perfect timing. It showed up in my life at the perfect timing. I hear that over and over and over again. And so I just want to share that with you because I think it's important to understand that you're not alone. You may feel like it, you may be in the middle of some chaos in your life that's stressing you out, but you are not alone. And that's my goal with this blueprint, is to let you know that. Because I've been on a path of about 20 years and didn't know it the whole time. Every dot connected, creating the bigger picture later. But I pretty much walked this journey alone. And even after being an energy healer and for 20 years, receiving energy work for 30 years, and getting to, the understanding and unfolding of my twin flame experience of being, unfolding a Pandora's box of, coming out and being, discovering that I was a twin flame. And I went to people I knew and like, what is this? Did you hear of a twin flame before? And it shocked me because I'd never heard of that. If you're there with me, it's because you're also being guided at the time you uncover your twin flame experience. So divine guidance has shown me that it's a time frame that you discover and you learn and you connect to what it is at the timing. Everything's timing, so that it comes to your awareness and proves to you and points it out and showing you this is a twin flame experience. And this is what you're experiencing. So it kind of comes up at the perfect divine timing. So it connects to you and it's like it speaks to you because you're going through it at that moment. And that's what most of the twin flame journey becomes and how it unfolds. Okay, so back to, I got sidetracked, and it wasn't really sidetracked. It was rerouted through divine that wanted me to share some extra things there. So I want to share with you the outline of like the course, the outline of each class, and the outline of my personal sessions I do with clients and even my group sessions. And that is, we want to set an intention. I wanted to set an intention for this course. Think about that. What was your intention to get this far? What do you expect to get out of this? So set an intention for the entire course. And then you will also do these, what I call the 5 A's. These 5 A's is what helps tap into your inner divine guidance and your inner intuition that will help you tap into the divine intelligence within you. So my 5 A's help you tap into the divine intelligence within yourself. And so that way you can connect to your highest version of yourself and pull in the divine intelligence to bring that into your conscious awareness so that you can take that knowledge and take that wisdom and process it in such a way that it becomes greater conscious awarenesses as the pieces unfold. So as you start to take a piece by piece by piece, and you start putting a puzzle together, you start to see the bigger picture. And each piece builds on the next. And that's kind of what this class will also do for you. So set an intention for, like I said, the entire course, as well as each individual soul session that we're going to do of each of the 11 key codes and 11 videos that you're going to receive over the next 11 days. The second thing that I want you to do is ask for blocks to be removed for the course and for your personal self. And those blocks being removed would be asking any blocks to remove you from connecting to your higher self, your highest purpose, and your highest divine relationship. That being typically twin flame. We're all basically twin souls that I'll describe that difference in that in a minute. And then, I'll explain, how we've actually become twin flames and, following that as well. Also in this course and through each session, to ask for awarenesses. Ask for the awarenesses to come up for these pieces to create that bigger picture and that bigger puzzle vision, so that you can get your aha moments and start to build these pieces, creating the bigger picture and creating awareness within yourself. Okay? And then in addition to that, I always like to give an affirmation for you. We're going to do this every session over the next 11 days. I do this in my coaching sessions as well. I allow divine guidance to bring in a affirmation that we want to work on within ourselves, and I kind of let that divinely unfold. So I don't know what it is yet, but I'll share that with you sometime throughout the course as it unfolds. And the other thing is, when we get this affirmation, for you to write it down for 11 times in the evening and to repeat it and say it out loud 11 times in the morning. And that's going to help to affirm. And you do this over the course of the 11 days. Now, we will have a new affirmation coming through every day. So what I would actually recommend you do in this instance is to go ahead and every one that comes through for every day, to use that one each day so it stays on track and on target with what the pieces are that we're working on. And then when you're finished, and we're finished with this course, go back and to each one of those affirmations and to pick up and do one of them at a time, 1 to 2 of whatever's resonating you want to work on the most. And when that happens, then do that over the course of 11 days for 1 to 2 of the affirmations. You can take that forward with you after the class. Okay? The other thing is an action step comes out of each of the courses that I'm going to be teaching, and they will come through usually during the process. And today I'm going to see if there's any additional actions that you're to take, but the first and foremost is to make sure that you implement the number one thing of the affirmation, this session that comes through, to make sure to start the affirmations. So rather than bombarding you and not having known that you're taking away too much, there may be more than that come through. And if it is, we'll share it, because I don't have it planned. I'm just going with what Divine says. So in this moment, we're going to stick with an affirmation, and we'll see if anything else comes through. I set an intention for this class, okay? And today's not only was for the class, but for the course. And when I did this, I used the Sacred Rebel deck that's by Elena Fairchild. I've been using such a beautiful deck just to guide me towards intentions. It kind of happened naturally. I didn't intend on it. I bought it such a beautiful deck of cards, and I've been using it in my sessions in order to come up with an intention for the sessions, and it just naturally unfolded. But one of the things was, I was actually planning to get this intention as I was doing this, and for whatever reason I just started shuffling, and when I did, I pulled out the card and it was just done. It was just done. So I wanted to share with you that the card is says, listening for the truth, okay? And so, we got a seashell. I don't know how close you can see. There's a light up there, so I'm not sure you can actually see, but listening for the truth. And that's really what the first session today is about clarifying the truth of what is a twin flame and what is the process and what am I really dealing with here and how can I clear up some of the controversy that's, that I hear. And so that's my goal today as well, to help you clear up some controversy. And then we're going to just keep building on that. And so with that being said, I'm going to zone in for just 1 second and pull in divine guidance just to kind of like really pull that in. I'm going to pull out for a second, pull back in, and then I'm going to see where they kind of take me. I do have somewhat of an outline that when I say outline is the bullet points that I said I would share, and I am going to plan on taking those kind of in order. But as whatever comes through with each one, I'm not sure. So, all right, I'm going to just step back for 1 second and see what comes through. Okay. I want to talk about energy for a second because we're energetic beings and that's how we connect to our twin flames. That's what makes us a twin flame. That's what the flame is the energy. And to do that, I want to share with you something I've shared with patients and clients over the years for a long time. And that is proof that we're energy. So this is actually, it's getting close to Easter time around here now. And this is like one of those little chickens. Okay. Like I become the battery just then. Okay. So then whenever I touch one side, you can see it's not creating a full energetic circle. So when I touch the other side, okay, as you can see, it takes a complete circuit. All right. There's a harmonic balance in that energy. All right. This would be twins. Okay. The positive and negative polarities, one contracting, one expanding, one, pulling in, one pulling out, and the push-pull dynamic. But to create harmonic balance makes the music. Okay. So this is what we have to learn how to do with our twin flame before we can come into union and sing a perfect song. We have to be able to become one with ourselves, become in harmonic balance with our energy, our masculine, our feminine energy. Our twin has to become in balance with their masculine, feminine energy so that we can sing our own songs and then we harmonize together. And so that is my intention, to help you become the best version of yourself so that you can then become in harmonic balance with yourself to also then harmonize with your twin flame. Okay? And so with us being energetic beings, we spark from light. Okay? We are light. And when I say we spark from light, I'm going to go into kind of a little high place of this right now. I'll go a little deeper as we kind of go into the next, the next soul session, day 2. But we spark from light, and God's color of love is what I call it, and is the rainbow color of love. And that is, there's white light, and then when it's infracted, it breaks down into 7 rays. And those 7 rays is the color of the rainbow. So when we incarnate and we spark from light, we spark from a ray of that light, and we spark, okay? And what happens is when we spark from that light, it's us and our twin that sparks at the same time. And so we incarnate and we create a spark, and the spark then splits. And then we have 2 individual twin souls. Okay, and they actually have their very own soul. It's not like you share a soul. It's your very own soul. But we have 2 twin souls. And we, at that time, we make an agreement and a contract with each other. And we say, one says, I'm going to take these lessons in our evolutionary journey. And the other one says, I'm going to take these lessons. And then what happens is, and this part is the evolutionary journey. So we've kind of covered the incarnation of twins, where they come from. They come from light. They come from a specific ray. They come from the same ray, the color ray. And we'll talk more about those color rays again next session. But then you create this evolutionary process together. And that is a agreement. That is a soul contract that says we are going to, the power of two becomes greater than one. And we're going to create a mission, and we're going to go through our evolutionary journey together, weaving in and out. Okay? One's going to come in. Usually, typically, one will come in during one lifetime and then the other. And throughout the evolutionary journey, you then come back together once you're mastering your entire agreement and your entire plan. And then you search each other out from the higher planes where you connect into the chakras, and they're always connected to the higher chakras, which I'll explain a little bit more too. But that pulls you back into the same lifetime. Unconsciously, you wake up to it. And then you, as you come back in together, the ultimate goal is to become one again. And then as you come back in the same lifetime, used to, it was less than a 1% chance that you would incarnate at the same time as your twin flame, much less come into full union and become one again, and also in the highest ultimate relationship of being in a romantic oneness again. And that is because of the mastery that it takes on our individual soul level to reach the highest version of ourselves, before we can become one with ourselves, before we can become one with our beloved and source and all those things. And we'll talk about that. I'm kind of just painting a big picture. And so when that happens, and now we are on this journey to come in and also change, it's in the evolutionary time frame of our planet, to come back together during this time and this era, and for us to reunite and to help change the world. And it's about a worldly mission. And so basically, more twin flames than the history of time are reuniting as one again over the next 5 to 7 years. And I was shown that there was 3 phases of that. And we'll talk a little bit more about that next time. But in that 3 phases, basically, it's got to do with the ascension process that started in 2012. And then the first phase was during the first 2012 to 2016. The second phase is coming up here 2016 through 2019, and then 2019 through 21, and 2021 is what I should say. And that we're on a fast track with that, because the universe has a plan. We collectively signed up as this, we collectively signed up for this mission as a whole, like as a group of twin flames. And so this is our evolutionary journey. We signed up for it. It's a done deal. We already contracted it. So when it comes to you and your twin flame, and creating the dynamics of like these push-pull thing, when it comes to the dynamics of these push and pull phases of coming together to kind of vacuum out these karmic issues that you have to work on within yourselves, and then go away, and then have to process that information, and then create higher consciousness awareness within each of your individual selves. That's where you start to move up the rankings and attach to your, letting go of your lower self, becoming your higher self, attaching to the higher self, and connecting to the highest version of you, because you're releasing things that are no longer serving your purpose, and they're lower vibration, and for you to come up in consciousness. And that's where we start the spiritual awakening, coming out of the dark night of the soul too. So anyway, I want to make sure that I've summed up for you the evolutionary part of that, because I just kind of want to recap, just to make sure that it's clear, because I want you to walk out of here being clear, and that the controversy is no longer a question for you. So I'm just going to backtrack. That's what I'm going to do. And that's the other thing I've been shown a lot, because you have to hear things sometimes more than once to get it. And sometimes it's hearing it one way versus another, and finally it clicks. And so I never like to assume anything. So again, we incarnate with our twin in order to create the idea that we're going to become one again. But after we incarnate, we each take karmic vows saying we're going to each learn certain lessons. And we're going to go through this process in and out, one at a time. And when it's time for us to become one, we will search each other out and we're going to share what we've learned. Now we're going to share those lessons. We're going to share what it took for us to become not only just one with ourselves, but that personal mastery, the personal development. And then we're going to teach each other that, our final phases. And then after you become one with self and you harmonize with self, then you actually then will harmonize with your twin after the fact. All right. And then that puts you each into what is called, I call checkmate. And that means that you each at that point have to hold each other accountable for the final phases of this. And that's why it's so hard, because you're getting to the core of these problems, these issues, this karma, and it's deep. It's very deep. You've been layering through these pieces of these lessons and you're getting to the pit of this. And when you get to the pit, it's purging. It's like when you get the flu and it hurts. There's nothing left in there, you don't think, but it hurts so bad and your stomach has cramps from, having to do the purge. Well, your twin is helping you purge. And as you're purging this karma out of you, it's creating this vacuum effect that's magnetically pulling out of you and then what you need to release. And so as that happens and as that unfolds, then basically you complete those agreements individually, holding each other accountable individually. Now you come back to harmonize together. And any differences you've had within each other along past lives, past situations, past pains in this life, any trauma that's still there that's been holding the two of you apart through pain or experiences or negative events, those things have to be also cleared before you can again become one. And you are each other's teachers, and you're coming together to create a mirror effect for each other. So you come together for one, is mirroring one thing to the other one, and the other one is mirroring back something that they are. And you're mirroring back what it is you need to learn in yourself. So when your twin runs from you, they're not running from you, they're running from their self, because in you, being around you, you pull out of them what they don't like within themselves or what they need to work on. It mirrors back. And what happens in this is most of the time, the person that's running is not even the runner. Okay? It's the person that's the higher vibration that's focusing on the twin, that's pulling down to the lower vibration, that is, not wanting to let go, not wanting to have patience, and, is wanting to control the situation and not realizing there's a control level and something for themselves to be learning, and that their twin is holding up their end of the bargain. Their twin is holding up the contract to keep you in check with yourself. So when you're focusing on their twin not doing what you think they're supposed to be doing, or having expectations on what they're supposed to be doing to fulfill needs within yourself that aren't being met due to abandonment issues or lack of self-love or lack of self-worth, then when that mirrors back to you, you're really running from yourself, because you're also not focusing on your own end of the bargain of what you have to learn within you, that you're trying to make your twin accountable for your lack of worth and your lack of self-love. And it ends up that you operate on two different love channels, and one's needing something, the other one can't provide it. And then there becomes all these expectations and all these conditions. And we're going to talk about all these things as we go along. I'm kind of giving a little bit of a high point here as well to get, the big picture in. But as we take this piece by piece and we go through the course and the process of it, you'll get much more in-depth information about all of it. So, all right. So I want to make sure that I've tapped on a couple different things here. So I've made sure to tap on the incarnation, how we split. I have talked about the evolutionary contract and how, we incarnate together with a mission and a journey that supports each other with the power to being greater than one, and it takes that process to weave in and out to share those lessons, and that we're basically each other's teachers. Now, when you start to go through the ascension process, and the ascension process will also have a class on, but technically all that really means is that you are becoming enlightened and you're learning how to release your old ways, your old self, to let go of those things, and to release the past will raise your vibration. And as you release the past to raise your vibration, that creates a higher consciousness in yourself, and you start to tap into your higher self, and you learn how to let go of your lower self, your old ways, the past things that have kept you in held back in life and held be stuck in the lessons that you need to learn. So it's letting all of that stuff go. And so as you let that go and you move and you transcend through the energy, what happens is you have to get into that karmic pit to purge it. And your twin is your vacuum. Your twin is the mirror that you have. Only your twin can do this for you during that process. There are other parts of this relationship that helps get you prepared for the twin, or even during processes throughout the journey, or that can help you when your twin's not where they need to be and they're resisting the process, and it helps pull you in one direction or another. But your twin has to be in the parallel of this at some point to be able to vacuum this out of you and you vacuum out of them, and to help pull these parts for you to transcend upward. And as that happens, when you come together, there's different phases, and we'll also talk about this in a future session, but the different stages and phases of the twin flame journey itself. But when you come in and you come together to do this purge, you create a soul merger. And soul recognition really comes first, and that identifying, that's usually where there's something you feel, this connection that you can't put your finger on it. But then the soul literally comes together to start becoming one again, and it's energetic. There's nothing that you do consciously about it that happens. It just happens. And so when that happens and you create that soul merger and it reconnects, that's when you become a twin flame. Once you came back into physical form and you've been around each other enough that the actual energy has went back into oneness in the physical form, body-wise. But energetic form starts to meld and merge energy, and that's what creates it. So you have two individual twin souls, and those two individual twin souls that have been paralleling all these different lives with each other, when they're in together and they come in and then they merge, that's where you get the infinity. So at the exact point where, and I don't know if you can see this, but the exact point, the intersection of where, I'm going to try to make sure you can see this, at the exact intersection between the crossover of the energy merge, where it's the infinity sign, at that cross point creates a spark and a flame, actually, I should say. And that flame now becomes the flame that gives the term twin flames. So it differentiates between twin souls coming together in physical form, connecting and merging energetically to become twin flames when the intersection. Like, it's a real thing. It really happens energetically, like I showed you in my demonstration with the little chicken chirper. And so the other thing, and we'll talk more about this too, but this is the masculine and the feminine connection of those energies. So you have to have, from the polarities of energy, you have to have masculine energy and feminine energy, and they have to be balanced within the merger of the balance to create the infinity. And so when you get that connection and it comes together and creates that flame, that's the harmonic balance I'm talking about. That's like what is called a 0 point field of stillness, where nothing occurs except for the perfect harmonic exchange between you and your twin. You may not be anywhere else, but you are in that point. and it takes a divine masculine and the which is the divine generator of this connection, and your divine feminine, which is the divine electric, which creates and produces. So you have your masculine that comes in, that kind of is like the torch kind of thing, or like I should say like the thing if you had a match. Okay, so I'm going to use this example. So if you had a matchbox and you had a match, okay, on the box you have the pad that you strike on. That's the divine masculine. The match itself is the divine feminine. They come together and you strike, and at that exact spark and at that moment where those two pieces come together and you get the flame come up, that's a perfect example of twin flames, of how they work in their dynamic of energy. It takes both of those. It's required for your mission. Before you can put your mission into motion, you need both of those pieces to create fire, you know, and the fire is what produces the mission that comes along with a twin flame dynamic. Okay, and we're going to talk about the twin flame mission in next session as well. So that's the energetic connection twins have. But in addition to that, they connect through the chakras. Okay, they connect through the energy vortexes in the body that supports the energy that I'm explaining here, that from our spark, that we're connected to the divine ray of light that we incarnate from. We have a direct attachment to source, and that source energy, God energy, divine will energy, eternal love, the rainbow of color of love, I said. So that energy of our chakras and that energy from that ray has a direct connection. It's like we're plugging in to our source. And if we have chakras that are out of balance, that creates interference of the interchange between you and source. And then we have our aura, that is the filter between the chakra and the internal body energy. We have our external energy, and then we have the aura, or the energy field, that is the filter that it buffers. It's like the air filter in our air conditioner that filters that energy in and out. Okay, and if that gets stagnant or that has blocks, then you have a problem with the interchange of energy coming in and out for yourself, for your own source. So our goal here is to become one with self, one with source, and then we create one love, and then that produces one purpose before we can have one life and living that in 3D. Okay, and I'm going to share with you that process as we go along with this to help you understand that too. So we connect through our chakras, and we're directly connected at all times through these chakras, and especially the higher self chakras, which is 5 chakras above your crown, that supports the higher self. And we'll talk again more about those throughout the process. But those 5 higher chakras, we go all the way up to the galactic chakra, on the chakra 12. And that's where you and your twin flame stay connected. So when people think that they've ran and they're not with them, they're with you always. They're with you even if you're not incarnated at the same time. So when you go into this separation, that silence is creating the opportunity for you both to expand and grow and to release karma and to purify the soul. And so this pull is necessary to vacuum out each of you to purify the soul, so that you can release the things that aren't serving either one of your purpose before you can merge harmonically. Okay? So when you have this pull back, that is the silence, I call it, that takes to make it create the music that you will produce together, which becomes your mission and your song within you that needs to be expressed, which is your ultimate calling, your divine will, your purpose. All twin flames have a purpose. We're going to talk about that next time too. So make sure you tune on that one too. So, all right. So what is a true twin flame? And, you know, the reason I say this is because there's so much controversy about that. I want to clear that up. What does it mean to be a true twin flame? A true twin flame, and I'm going to kind of really sum this up for you and like, to help you, I guess it really boils down to almost really one thing. It's actually simpler than that sounds. The true twin flame experience is having a mission. It's around a mission. It's a purpose and a mission that you both sign up to pay back. So that's the part that I didn't actually mention. At the end of your agreement, as you come back and merge energetically as one, before you merge physically as one, you then are to continue the mastery of your own soul, meaning you have met your highest purpose, your highest potential, went through the ascension, go through a shaman's death in that ascension, and go through a resurrection to the highest self. And now the goal is to pay back what you've learned. All right? And if you pay back what you've learned and pay it forward, that's what the mission is all about. To share the experiences that you each learned along your journey, that you came together to share within each other, to create the power of two is greater than one, to now take that energy, collective twin flame energy, and go share that energy with the world. And to now use that energy to change the world, basically, in some way or form. And this boils down to a lot of times an individual purpose combined with a joint mission together. And the universe, because of the contract you've made, the universe, like I said, has an intention all of its own that you are to get that accomplished. And we're on a fast track right now based on the time and the space we are in, that I'll share more about from the age of the Aquarius. I'm going to share a lot more about that next time. But based on the time and the space we're in, it's just a done deal. It's already just waiting to come into form. And that's part of my own twin flame mission, is to go out and share this with people, so you don't have to walk this journey alone like I did to get this far, to get this knowledge, creating this information available to speed this up, to help you understand what it is you're going through, so we can clear this up, to get on with it, to get the mission accomplished and move forward with your own personal journey, as well as you continuing to share that light in your beacon with other people for whatever that journey is you've signed up for. That's what a true flame is. True twin flame relationship and journey is all about. A lot of times, what happens is you're stuck on the self-sacrifice or the self-desires that say, I want my twin, and you have this issue of feeling separated and pain and all these pieces. That's the purge to get you to where you need to be. That's the vacuuming out the pieces. But you came here, like I said, for a reason, to create this mission. And sometimes I'll hear people say, I just can't do it. I'm not going to wait. And the thing about it is, you don't really wait for your twin to get their act together, but you move forward in your process of it. But you don't close the door, because by closing a door really is prolonging the process, and it's setting up an expectation and setting them up to fail. It's setting the whole dynamic up to fail. And so when I hear people say that they're not going to wait another 2 years or another however long it takes, I want you to realize that we're talking about the infinity. We're talking about the beginning of your incarnation, thousands of who knows how long, how many years that is. You're to the finish line here. Even if it's 5 more years, even if it's 20, you're at the finish line. You've signed up for this. So everything you need for your journey is inside of you. Because I hear this a lot. I don't know if I have inside of me what it's going to take to get this done. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. It's inside yourself that you're not looking at, making you the runner of what you need to focus on. And typically that is letting go, patience, and letting go control, really. And the patience. And it's deep. It's deep. I do know and I do understand. But you can do it. You can do it. I've proved it. And now I want to help you do the same. So, all right. So now let's talk about the twin flame characteristics. All right. You'll find a lot of this stuff online. So I'm going to give just some basic information, and then I'm going to talk about the twin flame synchronicities. So one of the first things is the need for confession, the need to be honest, That is the purification process. That is like the vacuum that's sucking that out of you. And then there's the twin flames can just talk for hours about anything and everything and feel so comfortable with each other. It's something that, you've not like our soulmates don't necessarily spend a lot of lifetimes together and have the same connection, but you can identify it differently than the past relationships. And, I'm sure a lot of you will know what I mean when I say that. So one or both of you definitely have a purpose. Together, there's a mission that comes out of this. It just does. And a lot of times twins, when they connect with their twin flame, they feel like that's the thing, they feel everything that their twin feels, and they feel like that they know everything about their twin. And what their twin is teaching them is to kind of like be more open, more empathy, more connection. And our twins actually help us to also increase our intuition and to expand our gifts. And as we go up and raise our vibration and higher consciousness, our spiritual gifts kick in more. We all have spiritual gifts, but it's expanding them. Our twin actually helps us do this as well. It's a matter of knowing what's happening and being open to receive. And to be able to open and receive help, because as twins, this is another characteristic, we don't always accept help. We're used to doing things alone. We're used to doing things the hard way. We're used to doing things that are difficult and challenging because that's what we signed up for. And that's the other thing I want to tell you. We didn't just take on karma for ourselves to clear here. We as twin flames, we took on the karma for the world. So we're taking on karma to clear the karmic patterns of the world. And that goes all the way back to Atlantis, where the soul trauma took place at the beginning of time, when twins were one and harmonic balance is heaven on earth. And now that, we're here at this space and time, and I hear this with clients over and over, is this feeling of separation and feeling of being pulled apart and being like, need to go home, or, the abandonment issues that dates not only back to things in this life, past lives, but back to the beginning of time. Most abandonment started with your twin flame when you were separated. And that's why you have a feeling of needing to reconnect, and it's soul shock. And when they come back in and you've done this merger with them, and now they take off again, it rips back apart, it creates these sensations, real energetic sensations of withdrawal. It's real, it's like, and now that's why you initially have those feelings of reconnecting, because it's like that fix of getting it back. And you can feel it, and understanding this and knowing this will help you through this process. Okay, that was a little sidetrack there, but it was a very necessary one. So, twin flames enter fifth dimensional time, and that means, like I said, we're on a fast track. Everything speeds up. Everything is going much faster in the fifth dimensional energy, and I'll talk about this next time. But our fifth dimensional energy of the Earth planet has went up. So we are moving from 3D energy to fifth dimensional energy as we connect to our higher self. That's a higher vibrational energy. The Earth is vibrating in a higher vibrational energy. And I'm not going to get too up onto that one, but we'll talk about it. And so the goal, though, for that higher vibrational energy is to speed up the process of you becoming one with self, one with source, one with your twin, and then to get this mission you have in motion. Okay? That's why most twins are connected to intuition, and even, connected cosmically to esoteric wisdom, and on these, healing merger, this healing energy of, energetic beings. Sometimes there's really one, will tap into like the spiritual aspect, at least, not both. But that's where twin and the characteristics, you might be a little opposite in some ways, but they're always complementary. And the reason being is because you go out through this evolutionary process as you each take parts and you choose. A lot of those parts are opposite. And the reason they're opposite is because, like, well, if I go gather this one and you go gather that one, then we come together. We can share that and become, like, it makes faster. That's the power of two is greater than one. And everything becomes harmonic and flows real easily with your twin once everything's in balance. At least not always initially, but that's the goal. It's harmonic to speed it up. and you each learn something, you share that together. Usually you see the wake up code, the angel codes of 1111 just before or around during the time you're connecting with your twin. I'll share a lot more about what that 1111 is later. A lot of you might even know it, but I'm going to share that later. I'm not going to go there yet. Usually they're not your type. That's to break down ego. It's something that, is beyond self-desires. It's not always that initial, oh my gosh, like love at first sight, like you see online and the fairy tale ending. That's not a typical twin flame connection. I'm not going to say it hasn't happened and can't happen. That depends on the mastery of the individual two souls. And that's what you get once you're harmonizing together. But when you come in and you have purification to do, it's not in harmonic balance. And you have to create the harmonic balance to get there. And again, I mentioned this earlier, but you definitely go through the ascension process to create the karmic purge, which I'll explain more about. And during that, you are each other's teachers, and you are mirror images of each other, reflecting what needs to be pulled, what you each need to work on, what needs to be pulled pulled out of the other in order to create that vacuum I talked about. And I mentioned this too, but I want to say it again. There's a strong connection to spirit, at least for one. And if there hasn't been at that point, as you go through the spiritual awakening, the desire to connect gets stronger and stronger. And really staying open to raise your vibration and connect with your intuition and your own psychic abilities, because they're there. They're in everybody. But it's just a matter of getting in tune with that. And that's part of the process. The other part of the process is to balance your masculine and your feminine energies. And that's what creates your oneness within yourself. That's what creates the harmonic balance in self before you can 100% be in balance with each other. And we'll talk more about that later too. There's this empathetic connection, the telepathy, where a lot of times twins will have dreams, and it really is telepathy coming through during like astral travels and this energetic connection at night that you're having. There's always constantly communication going on, and that's where twins will read and feel each other's energy because of these once you've done that, once you've merged. And there's different layers of merging in this energy, starting at that etheric body, which is a third body that your energy goes into, which has been there through all eternity of connection to your chakras. That comes in then through the spiritual planes, the emotional planes, the energetic planes, the spiritual planes, mental planes, emotional, like I think I said emotional, but then also getting into the physical plane. All right. And that's when your physical plane comes in once you're in physical contact and you've balanced enough that then there's the connection that walks that I was explaining. This is where that inner exchange is constantly taking place throughout the telepathic communication. And it's causing that. And I mentioned that twin flames are encoded with the 12 chakra system, and that they also connect through the chakras at all times. So that is characteristics of a true twin flame dynamic. Now I'm going to talk about twin flame synchronicities. It's a little bit different. So I'm going to share with you my experience with that. So me and my twin flame both started school to become medical doctors. Then we both had car accidents that shifted our direction, and we became chiropractors. We met during school, and even in our injuries, we both had neck pain, TMJ pain. That because of that pain is what actually redirected our paths to become chiropractors rather than medical doctors. During the course of our the connection during that time frame, we were in the same class, we were in the same clinics, we were in the same functions. This was just naturally happened. We even communicated some during our journey. We got married one day apart the same year during school. Later, I got divorced. Then I had a life partner that was my soulmate that I talk about in my book, that connected with, that was an 8-year relationship. And my ex-life partner that was a very, very deep soulmate, and his ex-wife, a very, very deep soulmate, both of their birthdays are on the same day. That's, the connection him and I had parallel with these people with their birthdays on the same day. We have remained each other's chiropractors. We have always practiced within a couple miles of each other, and in fact the same building at one point. He actually helped keep my foot in the door during a bad business partnership prior that I was trying to merge with my mission then and get into a bad business partnership. And it was became a thought of like it was a very intense situation. Became a thought of getting out of chiropractic at that time altogether. And he was my go-to person for everything. He helped me create a all my business plans. That's talking about the power of two going in and out. I always learned all these energetic things. I did take some business stuff too, but he was heavier on the business side. I trusted him. I've uncovered past lives that were brother and sister. We've had this brother-sister dynamic, and he's always felt like my brother. I felt like I could trust him. He guided my every step from business decisions to business build-outs to patient management to patient flow and patient care and all these pieces. So, and then, leader, as I got into more energy, which he actually did acupuncture too, but, there are pieces that we shared in this journey. I gave him his first Wayne Dyer book, and we both was on this really personal journey, at the same time. And so we were parallel. We didn't have a clue. We were just, friends. And then later we went through the dark night of soul at the same time, and coming out of that, we reconnected in a different, deeper way. We did have some things that kind of came up in that kind of put our paths in separate directions for a little bit of time. And then that was that separation. Didn't even know what was happening. Divinely guided, divinely connected there. Came back in through his need to help want some energetic assistance with what's going on with him. That's when we connected energetically and merged. And then he helped me create this entire blueprint that we uncovered through this. We opened up a Pandora's box. We uncovered things. He encoded me with all like my already kind of psychic abilities, my already intuition, my already energy, all of that enhanced to the nth degree. And he expanded me in such a way that now I'm going out and sharing this with the world. If I had not been open to these things with him, if I had been stayed focused on the ultimate relationship and not what was happening, I wouldn't be here sharing this with you today. And so this is a blueprint to go forward. Him and I have the same eye color. I didn't even know it or recognize that until after I found out we were twin flames. And they're like, wow, we have a kind of a distinct eye color. And then we're both very connected to the pyramids, very strongly connected to the pyramids into Egypt. So that's the twin flame synchronicities that parallel a lot of the same things. It's a lot of like similarities that you have with them. I get asked all the time, the last portion of this, which is, this is honestly, I had no clue how long this was going to take. I didn't go into this with any agenda other than, like I told you, that I wanted to be open for guidance. I wanted you to come out of this with something. And so, this is definitely, I don't even know how long it is, but I hope that you're gaining enough out of it that you will continue to learn and have the opportunity to listen to this. And if you can't listen to all one setting, I hope that you're breaking it up. And each class, as I told you, is going to unfold the same way. So I have no clue how long each one's going to be. And I'm just telling you this now so that you know the framework going forward for the next 10 days after today, 11 days total. So the last topic that I want to bring up is understanding the other soul type relationships. I get asked this all the time how do you know the difference and how do you know for sure? Well, of course, the only way you can 100% know for sure is your intuition, your guidance. Now, I do confirm this for people, and I do get codes, and I get reading, and I help people. And I've never had anybody I haven't been able to help, but I would assume what it will tell you is if something's not ready to be revealed, it won't be. If you come to me and you ask that and it's not ready to be revealed and I can't reveal it for you with honesty and integrity to know that I feel comfortable with it, then you won't, it won't come up until it's ready. All right. So that's with anything. It's all like this process of your twin flame journey is just like an acorn turning into a acorn tree. It has the divine intelligence in that acorn. You don't have to, it does not have to know or figure out how to be a tree. It just becomes a tree. A rose bud becomes in full bloom and a full blown rose. And it does it from the constriction to the expansion through the divine intelligence of knowing how. It's a process. Your twin flame journey is the same thing. It's a process. You can't figure it all out. And if you try, and the harder you try, the more it's going to run from you. Because part of your lesson is to let it go, to not be the fixer of your twin, or, all these things, to let things go. So, again, another side note that just came through here. So, we're going to get back on track now with understanding the soul relationships. All right. So, a soulmate and is when we incarnate, and each of your twin and yourself goes into like the separation of only one in at a time. During the time that we separate, we go into our soul family, and in our soul family are our soulmates. And as our soulmates, we go through multiple lives together over and over and over, that in different forms and different shapes. You're not all of your soul family are incarnated at the same time. Only certain ones come through at certain times. And they come through as part of the lessons, though, that you're to learn during the process of your evolutionary journey. But soulmates become such a deep connection, such a deep relationship. And, in doing so, we just know them. And that's why they come through at a time that they're helping us break our karmic patterns and the deep core of us, to break the pattern, to realize we don't want to fix it, or we realize we want to get beyond where we're at. And the reason I was saying the fixer is because my situation with my last soulmate life partner of 8 years, being a very deep soulmate, it took him to pull up in me the decision that I didn't want to fix things in life anymore. I was a fixer of everything. And I knew that I finally wanted to let go. It was one of my major karmic pieces that I had to let go within myself. And he helped me identify the karmic pattern. Okay, it hurt. It was deep. If you want to know like a lot more information, I hope you've already up to this point got this book, the stories in here. It's something that is very inspiring and inspirational, and I would highly recommend you definitely, hopefully at this point you've kind of been starting to read that, because it's going to take everything that I actually am sharing with you at a much deeper level. But anyway, so our soulmates pull this up and creates expansion in us, and they hurt bad, and it's hard to break those relationships. Our twin flame can be too, but it's on a different level. For me, my twin then came in at this time this was happening and helped me clean up the debris. So it's like with my soulmate, he came in and there's a brick wall here, and he hit the brick wall and it shattered. And like all these bricks are just everywhere. And then the bricks are like, still blocking my journey, and I still can't get through. But and then it's also chaotic because it's a mess. What do you do now? You got to clean up this mess. And so then my twin flame came through and helped me reprocess through his journey of his soulmate situation, his pain, and all these pieces. Then I processed all of that with him. That helped me clean my debris up, because it mirrored back to me everything. I felt his pain. I felt everything he went through, everything that he was going through. I could feel again. I relived it all again, or, like even like to a deeper level, I should say. And then I was cleaning up the pieces, and he helped me clear the pit, and he helped me get to the bottom of the pit, which was me. And then he helped me crack me open and to purge the inner pieces in me. And then from there, I had to have a facilitator that I'll talk about in a minute, okay, that helped me process from there. Karmic relationships. Karmic relationships are kind of like a soulmate relationship, but they have an intention of kind of like, they come in, they don't last as long as, or as deep, quite as deep as a soulmate relationship, but they're to help you clean up some of that karmic debris, and or burst one in a specific area that you haven't like broken a karmic pattern as well, or that you are needed to clean up some of that debris. And the point I'm getting at is usually it's a specific person that is a real defined relationship that feels more distant to you, yet they're helping you on your journey, and you can't exactly put your finger on why, but you do feel their connection, and they're helping you usually clean up the karmic purge pieces, the debris, And again, the big key here to know that it's a karmic relationship versus a soulmate relationship is to realize that they come in and out faster. You don't have as deep a connection. You can release them easier. Okay? That's the connection. They are doing the same thing as a soulmate, but they don't exactly even 100% feel like a soulmate, at least not up front at first. And then when you do feel the connection, it's deep enough to know it's doing something, but you can tell that they're not a soulmate. A soulmate's deep. Okay, that's really the difference between a karmic and a soulmate relationship. Then we have false twin flames. False twin flames come through like a freight train. They are helping, usually they come through around the time you've met your twin flame that is still breaking down ego. And the ego needs broke up and getting to some of the very pit and the karmic debris that is not being released. And the goal is to help you learn to, you or your twin. Typically, it's more of the runner that has this experience that somebody will come through and rock the world and hit to the core of the being to the point where it hurts bad. But they come through fast. They leave a trail with them as fast as they leave. And the whole purpose is to break up ego and to release the lower self. Okay, so that's a false twin flame. But it does feel like a twin flame dynamic. Okay, not a typical false twin flame. Then we have the twin flame facilitators. Twin flame facilitators are twin flames themselves. They just haven't merged with their twin flame yet either. And because we're on this fast track, the universe has a plan that we're going to get this mission accomplished, like I said. So we're going to be pulling people together in the dynamics of if things are out of sync in one area and they're not harmonic balance and energy, we're going to get a match for you that comes in that matches your energy where you are. So you're playing out the twin flame like synchronicity and the flow to make sure that this mission and you're accomplishing your journey and you're part of the agreement is continuing and not being stuck, because now you're operating from the higher self. You're at a higher self plane and state, and the higher self says, I'm going to continue to evolve. I'm going to continue to expand. I'm not going to be stuck. I need somebody to help me do this, but my twin's not here yet, or there was here, and then the twin hasn't got here, and there's this gap between the two. And then somebody comes in that's, another twin flame comes in, and this could be in a lot of different terms. This could be just like friend twins, twins helping to get a mission. Some twins come in with missions that, are equal or the same. They need to bring these pieces in. Since I read the book, I've had another twin flame facilitator come in that is actually, there's a long story. I won't go there. It'll probably be my next book, but I had already known them. And they became part of like me facilitating them and their mission. And then also some other pieces the same way of, revolved a lot of my mission and stuff. And the goal then is to keep things moving from the higher self, really, ultimately. And that's really the difference in a false twin and a twin facilitator. Because, like I said, I want to repeat that. The false twin releases the lower self. The higher twin will help you connect to the higher self at a higher state and to keep it going. My twin flame facilitator that I talk about in Twin Flame Codebreaker helped me with the missing pieces that needed to be fulfilled for me to continue to connect to the highest version of self. The mission was already coming, but it was stuck a little bit. And me connecting to the highest version of me pulled the mission up with that. And the mission was to go forward. That's where I said, you don't close doors, you don't wait. I also learned some very deep personal things from my getting into my divine feminine that my twin could not teach me. My twin didn't have the skills to teach me, but I need to learn these things. Just like our twins might need to go be with somebody else to break up some of that lower self karmic debris and have relationships with people that can tap into that, because we've gotten beyond that and we're at the higher self. As much as you don't like that, they need that experience to get to where you are, and it's their journey. And you only come back in together to share the lessons. If you wait for your twin to, you're going to miss the lesson, and then you can't go gather the information to come back and share. So going to gather the information from other relationships can be necessary to bring that information, the knowledge and the wisdom into the mission, so that you pull in and gather that knowledge and wisdom to continue to keep the journey going and to continue to keep the process going until you make full connection and until you continue the path and the journey. And I will tell you from experience that it is never ending. The saga from if you've read my book or reading it, and how the things unfolded for me personally, it has not ended. The saga has continued. And I've had to learn to do the same techniques, the same tools that I have taught, that I teach, that I've written about, that I've studied, and that I still have to revert to some of the basics just to stay in this vortex and this alignment and to keep things moving. And with that being said, I feel like that this session is complete. I would like to thank you and very honored to have shared this information with you. And I'm saying thank you for having made it through however long this is. I have no clue. But if you've made it this far, it's a divine appointment. It was intended. And I hope you enjoy the next 10 days to come. And if you enjoyed this video, I would really much like it if you could, feedback would be awesome. So please feel free to like it, comment, question, and then make sure to share the shine on all levels, not just this video, but in your life. And I hope that you always continue to face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Much love to you. I will see you tomorrow. Namaste. Hi. So I wanted to make sure you knew the affirmation that came through for today's soul session was, I am open, I am ready, guide me as I change my perception about my twin flame journey. I am open, I am ready, guide me as I change my perception about my twin flame journey. And then the action step that came out for today's session. At first, it was coming through that you were to only start the affirmations and writing those down every evening and saying them aloud every morning 11 times each for the 11 days. Do that for each of the affirmations. But as I double checked with guidance, and we want to clear up this controversy, and most people are always questioning and wondering who facilitates their journey, and is their twin? And so I was guided to have you take each of the different soul types of relationships, one being a true twin flame, one being a soulmate, one being a karmic relationship, the other being a false twin flame, as well as a twin flame facilitator. Wherever you are in your journey right now, make a list of all the people that is fulfilling roles for your journey, past, present, and kind of like potentially even coming in as new partners or experiences, to kind of like assess those. And then just to look within your journey as to who in your life fits those roles, so that you can start to trust your own guidance as you look at those individual journeys and how they're facilitating and supporting you in your journey, that you can trust the process, that who's ever in your life, for whatever portion of the journey and lesson you're supposed to learn from them, that you can start to look at all of those people as your teachers along your journey, so that it's no longer like a obstacle in your way of what you're going through. It's more of a teacher that you can realize and put into motion the idea and the perception. They are your teacher, reflecting to you what it is you need to learn to help you get to your highest self. So
recap, just to make sure you take every one of those other soul type relationships, including the twin flame, and then map out who's been in your life in the past or present, or who's just entering, that might fit into, and multiple ones of them fit into those different categories of what I explained for each type of relationship. That is your action step for our key code 1-1. Let's clear up the controversy so that it can help you clear that controversy up and feel comfortable with the people that's in your journey with you, so that you can begin to trust the process. Okay? Much love. See you tomorrow. Bye.